everyone, today we're looking at how to use a credit card responsibly and how to repay your credit card bills. Get some paper, a pen, and we'll begin. You now know that a credit card gives you a limit, and you can spend as much as you'd like up to this limit, but you have to repay it by the end of the credit period. When the time comes to repay it, there's 3 scenarios we can look at. Minimum payment, maximum payment, and anything else really. The first scenario is minimum payment. Let's say that you've reached the end of the credit period and you find that you cannot pay off your bills. So what will happen is the banks will offer you a minimum payment. So the banks will say, pay us $50 and we'll let you off for this month. Which seems great, but banks are smart. Do you really think they're gonna let you off like that? Let me illustrate this. Say if I have a credit limit of $1,000 and I have spent $600 this month. Now, I've just realized the time has come to pay it off and I don't have enough. The bank offers me a minimum payment of $50. So, somehow I managed to pay the bank $50. So, I spent $600 this month. 1,000 minus 600 is 400, meaning I now only have a credit limit of $400 for the next month. I pay the bank $50, so now I have a credit limit of $400 plus $50 for the next month. But I still have to pay the bank $550. This means that I have to pay the bank $550 with interest. The interest rate is often sky high. The second example is full payment, which means that you repay all of the money you've spent by the end of the month. So in this case, we had $1,000 and I'd spent $600. By the end of the credit period, I repay all $600. This is where everyone wants to be. When you pay the full amount, there's no interest that's needed to be paid. The third scenario is anything else. So we had a credit limit of $1,000 and spent $600 this month. Now, let's say I can only repay $300. That means I still have a $300 loan outstanding because 600 minus 300 is 300. So now we have to pay $300. And same as the first scenario, we have to repay this $300 back with interest. So there's the 3 scenarios, but what do I mean when I say repay with interest? After the credit period, the amount that you have to pay interest on is calculated daily. Let's take a new example. Say if I need to pay the bank $400 on an interest rate of 25% because I have not paid off my credit bills. This is how it's calculated. Now, if there are 365 days in a year, on the first day, you will pay 1/365th of 25% of 400, which is about 0.27 cents. Not much, but look at what happens on the next day. On day 2, you have to pay 2 out of 365 of 25% of 400, which is already double that amount. And when you leave your credit card bills for too long, this number will keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And mind you, I've taken much smaller figures for simplicity's sake. Here are my top tips on repaying credit cards. Number 1, only spend what you know you can repay. Number 2, if you find yourself in a situation where you are unable to pay off your loans, quickly accumulate money from any other accounts and pay it off as fast as possible because interest accumulates really fast. Number 3, know your credit limit and set appropriate boundaries. As I said before, banks will already determine the maximum they're willing to give you, but you have the option of making it lesser. If you know you're someone who's got a tendency to go over the top a little bit, set a lesser credit limit. Make sure you're always aware of your boundaries. I also want to briefly talk about American Express credit cards. Now, people choose American Express because they've got a better reward system. However, if you're planning to own just one credit card, it can't be an Amex as many places don't accept it. This is because Amex charges shopkeepers for using their cards a bit more heavily. So, some shops will offer you a surcharge for using an American Express card. That means you have to pay extra money for American Express. It's up to your better judgment whether or not you want to pay that. So, whilst it does have a better rewards program, make sure you own a MasterCard or Visa credit card first before getting a second one. And only get a second one if you're responsible with the first. That's all for today. Make sure you take the time to watch and rewatch this video because I know it's a lot to take in. Next time, we'll look at travel cards. See you then.